What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Critical Overlord here. So production began a few days ago on Jordan Peele's upcoming remake or reboot / spiritual sequel to the 1992 classic horror film Candyman. Now, I want to kind of get into some details regarding the plot, what I think the movie is going to do, give some casting information. So let's just jump right on into it. I think first words started coming out about this project in late 2017 or early 2018, right around the time when Jordan Peele was about to start promotions for Us, which came out earlier this year. But he is attached on as one of the co-writers. He's also producing it through his Monkey Paw production company, which produced his two well-received horror films, Get Out and Us. The cast for the upcoming Candyman film includes Abdul-Matin, Tiani Paris, Tony Todd, and two other Stewart-Jarrett, I believe, also recently just joined the film, and one other person joined in as well. I know Win Rosenfield, who is also attached to the Monkey Paw production company that Peele is a part of. He is also co-writing the script along with Peele. This is kind of right in his ball game. Speaking about Jordan Peele, this is right up his alley because he's released two films that don't really deal heavily with race, as opposed to, I would say Get Out dealt more with the race than Us. But he's released two movies that are very controversial, and they're basically two social commentary films, thrillers of sorts, horror thrillers. I believe that what we are going to get here is a loosely attached continuation to the 1992 film, because some of the character information came out about the film months ago, and Lakeith Stanfield, or I hope I'm not saying his name wrong, Lakeith Stanfield, who was one of the cast members for Get Out, he was the person that got abducted in the very beginning of the film. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie, I apologize. But he was the first person that got abducted, and we found out that he was joining the film, and a lot of people were speculating because his character name was Anthony. Now, to get into some details about the original film, the original Candyman from 1992 starred Tony Todd as the titular villain, and Virginia Lyle, I think that's her name. Basically, it's centered on two graduate students, specifically Virginia Lyle's character, Helen. They were studying urban legends and trying to do a thesis for their graduate paper, and that's when they learned about the legend of Candyman, decide to do their paper on that, and his ties to the Cabrini Green apartment complexes or something of that effect in the Chicago area. And they come to find out how real this entity actually is, and they learn his backstory. Candyman was the son of a slave, I believe, who was a very successful artist, but he was attacked by a mob when he fell in love with a white woman, which then led to him returning in the afterlife as this vengeful spirit hell-bent on revenge. So, in my honest opinion, I feel that what is happening here, getting back to Lakeith is playing a character called Anthony. Now, at the end of the original film, and in the original film, there was a baby in it named Anthony. He was a young infant at the time, and Heather, or Helen, the character that Candyman was after primarily, she saved this baby from the grasp of Candyman towards the end of the film. And I feel that now that's who Lakeith Stanfield is playing. I feel like this is the same Anthony, all grown up. He's developed some sort of interest in Candyman because the character description said he's a bit of an artist, similar to how Candyman was an artist in his life. I feel like that's where the connection to the original film is linked. I feel like that's going to be the thing that ties it into the original film. But then from there, it's going to do its own thing. But then, of course, this could just be a character name that's Anthony in reference to the movie, which featured a character of the same name. And this is supposed to be a reboot of sorts, but then they're saying it's a spiritual sequel. Getting into something else, the fact that they did mention that Another cast member who was casted in the film, he was announced to be in the film. He was recently a part of the recent film Us. He was the father at the beginning of the movie. Abdul-Mattin. He is playing we don't know what character he's playing, but speculation started that he would be playing Candyman, but then that was quickly shot down by Nia DaCosta, who is on board to direct the film. Jordan Peele isn't directing this project, but I'm assuming he's going to be guiding her along the way, because I think she's a relatively new filmmaker, new director of sorts. But speculation began that Yaha was replacing Tony Todd's character, and reports came out. She quickly shot that down. So now we don't know exactly what is happening here. So it could be possible that Yaha is portraying a character that suffered the same fate or something similar to Candyman, and this might be a revamped spirit in the Cabrini Green area, because they're also they're shooting the entire film that's coming out next year in June. The film is set to come out in June. The entire film is currently being shot in the Chicago area. I think it's being shot around that same Cabrini Green area, and the character that Yaha is playing is not the same Candyman that Tony Todd portrayed, and we have Tony Todd back in the mix, so it's kind of a iffy situation. We're not sure what's happening, but we're still interested, because what is going on? Is Tony Todd reprising his role? What is Yaha's character? Is it a character of sorts that's similar to Candyman? Is he Candyman's like right hand? Is he Candyman's partner? Are they working together now? Like, there's so many questions, but with Jordan Peele involved, I'm very confident that this will be a successful follow-up to a standout film from 1992 that has a bit of a cult following. I'm not saying it's one of the best films ever, but it does have a cult following, and I think it's heavily underrated due to the time period that it came out in. But I'm really looking forward to it. And what do you guys think about this? What do you think the film is going to be about? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you have any opinions on it, let me know down in the section below. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. In the description, I'll have links to all my social media accounts. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can message me there to let me know if there's any movies, news, or reviews you would like me to cover in the future. With all that in mind, guys, I will see you in the next video.